apparently Tim Pool is very upset because what was it he said about South Park, that they were no longer relevant? Sort of fascinating.
Well, to be fair, the White House said that. Tim Pool said that they should criticize Trump on policy, not the, toilet humor of, showing his penis or something.
Yeah,
like
he
that.
was pearl clutching.
Oh, I see. Well, what about I see. So they wanted him to criticize him over the big, I mean, they got as deep as Tim Pool
Epstein.
gets.
It was
But
But yeah, here he is complaining about, following up on the South Park thing after getting a little bit of heat from it.
Democrats. They are prominent people in corporate media who are Republicans, and we can see the plays that they're trying to make. $1.5 billion to the South Park creators, $30 million an episode. Wow. They call it one of those valuable TV shows on the planet in history. I guess technically, but the show doesn't get that big of ratings. No. I'm going to stress this, too, because it's so political. It's cringe. It's cringe. OK, so I like South Park. I've always liked South Park. OK, I don't agree with the White House when they say it's irrelevant or whatever. I don't know. We watch South Park all the time. They had a really great run in the early 2000s. And it was give or take a little bit after that. But they've had some bangers. They had some really good ones. When the jokes hit, they hit. Now, the problem I had with the episode on Trump is that the jokes were generic. And I want them to make fun of Trump in a more meaningful way, like the Epstein list. So the funny thing is,
so he's done a little pivot here in the time since he did the last time he mentioned policy. Maybe you could say like releasing the Epstein list is policy, but that's not really what we were thinking of. But I think he realized after seeing the episode that, they were actually going into Trump on things that were in the news, like slashing funding and Doge and that sort of stuff. So you can't say that they didn't attack him on policy. So now it has to be the thing that they didn't go into, which is the Epstein list.
They sort of did go into the Epstein list. In fact, he was in bed with the devil. The devil goes like, I'm not having sex with you tonight because I'm so tired of having to answer in my Twitter replies that you are in the Epstein files. I mean, every criticism he has of that episode was actually embedded in the episode. I mean, Trump, threatening them and them having to pay $3 million and them saying, well, we can cut all of our funding, all our child services and all our education to pay for them. Everybody's like, okay, that's fine. It was all there in those 28 minutes or whatever it is, 22 minutes.
But imagine how funny it would be if Tim Pool was in the writer's room.
Oh, that would be hilarious, actually.
More meaningful way, like the Epstein list. So the funny thing is, let me read this for you and then we'll talk about it. But the simple thing is, my video yesterday, low. It got to like 25% thumbs down. It did. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, yeah. And sure enough, people were commenting without having watched the video, just based off the title. Well, I'll tell you this. I'll say it again because I got no problem saying it. Running generic jokes about Trump when you have an opportunity to mock him over the Epstein list is cringe. And when people were saying things like, stop defending Trump over the Epstein list, I'm like, you clearly didn't
watch the video. The whole devil run was about Epstein.
And when people were saying things like, stop defending Trump over the Epstein list, I'm like, you clearly didn't actually watch the video in which I literally say, why aren't they going after Trump over the Epstein list? It's a layup, man.
This is like an Escher painting, where, everything sort of goes like this, because he's complaining that people did not watch his video about an episode that he clearly did not watch or just doesn't have the capacity to follow. It's pretty explicit. The joke that the devil did with Trump with the Epstein list was pretty explicit. He said the word Epstein. I watch South Park with the sound off. That's the way I watch it. That's the way I can. That's the way my comedy radar goes up. Is if I watch it without the sound, then I laugh.
Maybe he gets a feed in Russian, so he doesn't know.
That's true.
Yeah, man. But I digress. I want to see South Park keep doing their thing. I'm excited for it, actually, because during the I guess the woke PC era, they went after wokeness hilariously, and we all cited it. It was strong woman. It was basically Macho Man Randy Savage. I'm gonna join the women's track. Like, we were down for it. Now, many people are pointing out that Matt and Trey are your run-of-the-mill libertarian, independent, leave us alone, we don't care what you think personalities, and that's why I'm like, guys. Doing a tiny PP joke, I get the strategy. I think it is intentional. But they could have... Here's what I'm saying. They should have had Stan Kyle Kenny.
I can't even. This is like so bad.
No, Tim's going to punch it up, you guys. You got to let him work.
Tim's
could
career
have...
of... Has he been ever paid $1? I mean, listen, comedy is very subjective, right? Maybe
He's making us laugh.
I think Brian is funny, or maybe I think Matt is funny. Maybe I think I'm funny. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe I think somebody else. Comedy is subjective. But has Tim Pool ever made a single dollar being paid to produce any comedy ever? Intentionally. And don't tell me his music. I laughed, but I don't think that Tim would say it was comedy. Tim would not say it's comedy until we put it through our music filter, our special music changing filter.
I don't know. He's got a suggestion for what they should do here. So
I get the strategy. I think it is intentional, but they could have... Here's what I'm saying. They should have had Stan, Kyle, Kenny, and Cartman at the White House holding up the binders, mocking the personalities that did that. Then the binders were full of like crayon cat drawings from Trump or something like this. And then they should have had Trump go into a deep underground base where he was hanging out with Epstein. Like the jokes write themselves. Well, here's the story. They get
hilarious.
Good stuff.
Let's just skip a little bit ahead. Just one.
You know what you want? You want the jokes that are the most obvious.
Yeah, but like an AI could write them.
Obvious. You don't even need to write them. They're so obvious. They write themselves. That's how obvious they are. And
by the way, Trey and Matt famously put out a video on how to write comedy, and they say if you say "and then your script is fucked." That's what they say. It has to be if or because. It can't be and then. And he just said and then. All
right, here's his final little tag on it a little bit later in the video.
Guys, all the people that are like, stop defending Donald Trump. Here's what I'll tell you this. So my video yesterday, it's got average views. We're in a low period for news.
The one we did on it got really good views.
Oh, that's weird. Well, his wasn't funny. Ours was hilarious.
I got to be honest. Guys, all the people that are like, stop defending Donald Trump. Here's what I'll tell you this. So my video yesterday, it's got average views. We're in a low period for news, so it can be give or take. But what I noticed was, because I have notifications for YouTube, YouTube actually started recommending this video. South Park. Wow. It's getting recommendations. That's funny. And it was posting it in search. I'd been removed from search forever. Wow. And the people who did search didn't like my video. Well, I know you guys are at the core subscriber base when you dislike this video. Some of you may be, and you're allowed to. But anybody who actually watched the video saw me saying, get better. Like, insult Trump better. Get him on the Epstein stuff. And then you get comments where they're saying, why are you defending Trump on Epstein?
Jesus Christ, like, how much of this whining do we have to listen to?
His feelings are really hurt.
He got really, really upset about people's response. Do we have the ability? Like, I didn't even know that we had the ability to know that YouTube is putting it into like all these things that he gets obsessed about.
Weird. Paying too much attention.
And then the people who are making fun of me and don't do Trump.
Also, like, I don't know.
And I'm knowing that Trey and Parker don't listen to my comedy notes.
I don't understand why people cite thumbs down, because that's not an official thing that YouTube allows you to do anymore. And I think you need like some sort of plugin to measure that, which I would imagine makes it pretty unscientific. But
no, it's right there. You have to be in YouTube Studio. You can get the analytics on thumbs downs.
But you can't thumbs down on this video.
Well, we're at 99% usually, so somebody is.
99% thumbs down. That's exactly where we want it to be.
But how? But you can't thumbs down.
If we
thumbs
do
up.
less than 97% thumbs down, we have failed. In my
that
estimation.
shows how closely I follow these things. I thought YouTube had removed the thumbs down.
They removed the counter for thumbs down.
Ah, I see. Gotcha. My bad. I mean, that shows.
No, guys, come on.
These metrics. A lot of you
I'm
guys
pretty
are mad at me.
upset that Tim and Trey didn't. They didn't listen to what I said about my jokes.
Can I? Elon and Tim, after Elon's SNL joke, they should get together and put a script together. Elon can fund it and produce the movie. I think everyone would really look forward to those two comedy geniuses working together.
I'll tell you something. If Tim started a GoFundMe or a Kickstarter for his half-hour comedy, I would. But he has to write it. We would need proof that he's writing it, because I know that Tim Pool, the first thing he would do is go and try and hire a comedy writer to do it.
Right.
100%.
Go to the Babylon Bee offices.
Hey guys, come by and do some skateboarding, and you guys can watch me skateboard, and then we can write some comedy. Reflections on film. Here's a clip of Mike Cernovich explaining to Tim Pool that Gabbard's lies about Obama setting up the Russian collusion story have nothing to do with distracting from Epstein. It's just Tulsi proving her worth to Trump. He says this unironically, as if providing a distraction from Epstein wouldn't be exactly how she would try to get into Trump's good graces. I didn't even know that Mike Cernovich is out there saying things. Yeah. Hold on. I'll send you that link, guys. That sounds like fun. Maybe we'll play it next week. Let's see. The best thing from Tim Pool's criticism of South Park is that he unironically imitating Cartman in that episode. Cartman is bereft. So bereft he can't make fun of blacks, Jews, gays, etc., because it's socially okay to do that now. Exactly. California Resistance. Sam, I'm retired FedEx. We do have a pension. Still, I remember the day in the early 80s we had the meeting to sell us on the new terrific 401k plan for us. Right away, my gut knew it stunk. In fact, before the 80s, Wall Street regularly had bear market layoffs. After 401ks, we didn't really see those layoffs anymore. Exactly. It's a stabilizer for the stock market. Calling from an 808 area code. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
808. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Hi. Hi, I'm Zach from Florida.
Zach from Florida. What's on your mind? Got to be quick.
Okay. Well, first, I just want to say that I appreciate the work you guys are doing, especially under the current regime. And my question is about the current Epstein situation. And so, as we know, Trump had a relationship with Epstein going back to the 80s. And during the first administration back in 2017, he should have had access to all the files from like the FBI and such. But then in the 2024 election, they still seemed to campaign on it. And they were still mentioning it up until at least like March. So why would they have brought up the files themselves if they should have known that Trump was in it?
There's a long answer to this, and in part it's the QAnon stuff was, in my opinion, that came up after Trump won, was an attempt to sort of diffuse this energy away from the explicit claims about particularly Jeffrey Epstein. But then Epstein got arrested and died in prison under Trump. And so it became impossible for that sort of dodge to be all about pizza places and whether they have basements or not, and had to be about the actual thing. The Trump sort of loyalists saw that the Clintons were implicated in this, and like Sam mentions the Benghazi stuff and the sort of different intelligence angles of that, where the Republicans realize when there's an issue that has some sort of shadow over it that they think will not be illuminated, they play around in front of it. And I think some of these people maybe didn't know that Trump was so implicated. But I think ultimately, they didn't think it was going to be seriously.
You can remember when he was asked about this during the campaign by Fox News. He thought like he could halfway it and say like, yeah, no, we'll release it. I mean, maybe not that, because it could be it was just a problem. He thought like Trump, first of all, has the mind of like a dog. Like, I mean, it's like literally if it's not right in front of his face, he doesn't deal with it. He just goes day to day.
Permanence.
Yeah, exactly. And so, it came up in that interview, and Fox cut around it as a way to make it seem less explicit. And I think he's just like, I'll take care of it, like I take care of everything. I think that's just the way. I think that's what it is. And I think, to the extent that other people knew that Trump was in there, they are still incentivized to talk about it because. I mean, look, it's been helpful to them, and that's basically it. Appreciate the call. Midwest Queer. Sam, what resource should I read to learn about how bad 401k is? I'm interested in delving more into your claim. Let me make something clear. As a personal vehicle for you, a 401k may be fine. Like it's the functionally equivalent of an IRA, but with I think different limits on what you can contribute and how it's matched by your employer. But as a public policy measure, as a way of allowing companies to escape a defined benefit pension, which was supposed to be one part of the three-legged stool of retirement. Social Security, defined pension, and any other assets you have were supposed to be your three-legged stool for retirement. The problem is 401ks, because people can access them, they are underfunded by the time people get to retirement. Causes more people to rely on Social Security as their primary, as opposed to one of three, legs on that stool. And it also lets companies off the hook because they no longer have a defined a benefit. In other words, you're 35 years old, you work here for 25 years, you are guaranteed to get $3,000 a month or, $3,000 a month adjusted for inflation 30 years from now. It allows them to say, we have a defined contribution instead of a defined benefit. So therefore, we will put in every month $600 or whatever it is, $200, $100. And you could get screwed at the end of that. So it's as a public policy, but just look at, just Google the failure of 401ks. You'll see it in Fortune and everybody's written about this. Hey folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.